And oh, how you doing? My name is Christopher. I'm here to tell you my story of how I met Zoe. So, yeah, it was around maybe 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock when we boarded a boat, a ferry in, where is it, Livorno. And, I went on this ferry thinking, okay, I have 8 hours ahead of me, like, I have to fill my time. So I slept for a few hours. Then I got a coffee and a panino, and I was there eating by myself. Then I decided to go upstairs to the second deck, the deck, I guess, because my friends were there and they were chilling, smoking, playing guitar or whatever. And I'm in my own world, literally, just like looking at the ocean, looking at everyone around. And then there was this one moment where I made eye contact with this girl from afar, and like her like eyes were piercing through me. Like it was like, and she kept looking at me, and then she put her head down, and she did it again. Put her head down, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this girl's looking at me. She's whatever, but I didn't pay attention to it until she walked in my direction and went to the bathroom. And the part about that's funny is that there's a bathroom on her side, but she decided to walk all the way over to my side, go through the door, and she didn't make any eye contact with me, but I saw her for the first time then, like really saw her, and man, she had these long legs, this like crazy, like almost Rastafarian like hair. She looked very edgy and kind of like alternative and just cool chick. And I said to myself, man, that is a fucking beautiful person. And then fast forward maybe 20 minutes, she comes back, and I'm looking at her the whole way to see, if she looks at me. And when she sat down, that's when she looked at me again. And I thought, all right, I have to do something. When's the right moment? So I was talking to Vincent and Jules about my life and, how I'm always thinking about the girl of my dreams and how she only exists in my head. And I have this faint image of her in my brain because, she's not real. And after that conversation, Vincent and Jules were like, yeah, I feel the same way too. Like the girl of my dreams is somewhere there. And in that moment, I decided, you know what? Let me go talk to this girl. So I went up to my friend Leo. I asked him, can I roll a cigarette? He said, yeah, of course. I grabbed the cigarette. And then I saw Zoe go up to the bar to get a drink. And I go to the bar because my mouth is dry as fuck and I get water. I take a sip. I take a few breaths. And I walked up to her table and said, hi, can I sit here? And she was like, yeah, sure. And sometimes when you talk to a girl and she does not want to be talked to, she kind of like hints at that. Like if she has a book, she'll continue reading her book or like she'll just kind of be very distant from you. But immediately as I sat down, she put her book away, or she closed it, and she gave me her full attention immediately, and I was just like, fuck, I'm on the spot. What do I do? What do I say? I didn't even know what the fuck to say. And then I just said like, hi, I'm Chris. I couldn't help but notice you here. I saw you from afar, and I think you're very beautiful. And she blushed. And yeah, she was just there staring at me with her fucking crystal blue eyes, and I got so nervous. I just started saying random shit, and then eventually I asked her like, "What are you reading?" And she told me like, "I'm reading this book called it's a translation, The Unbearable Lightness of Being." And I asked her what it's about, and she says it's about light, but like heavy, like weight, not like light. She pointed to the sun. I thought that was so cute, and she didn't know exactly how to explain the book to me. So, whatever. I didn't even understand anything that she said, but I still said, "Yeah, I understand." Whatever. Um, and then honestly, it was just such a blur in that moment because in that moment, I wasn't trying to make a conversation with her. It was just falling out. Like, the words were coming out of my mouth, and she was talking to me, responding. And after a while, like, she kept saying, like, "Oh, sorry, my English is not so good." And I'm like, that's fine. I'm in Italy, not in fucking America. So we used Google Translate to talk, and she told me about her life and how she's from Pisa and she goes to Sardinia because her father lives there and he sails boats. He has a farm with horses she takes care of. And the most beautiful thing, there was many beautiful things, but one of the most beautiful things I saw was her hands. They didn't look like girl hands, like pretty, cute, and painted nails. They look rugged. They look like they have been in dirt. They look like they were, like she constructs things. Like her hands look rough, almost like a man's hands, kind of. And the reason why I thought that was amazing is because, like, she's not the typical girl, and she I don't know, she just likes to work with her hands, and I think people who do stuff like that, and I don't know, that's just my taste. But yeah, we talk about her life. I share a few details of my life, not too much. I tell her, I don't have a crazy good relationship with my father. And she says, me neither. I only see him maybe 4 times out of the year. And, we shared that together. And in that moment, I went out, I said, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" And she says, "Sure." And I asked her, "What do you like?" And she goes, "I like vodka with orange juice." And I asked her why. And she's like, "Oh, because when you drink it, you don't taste the vodka, you just taste the orange juice and you get drunk fast." And I thought that was, funny. So I went up to the bar to get the 2 vodka orange juices, and the bartender was like looking at me going like, and I was like, just give me the fucking drinks, man. So then I got the drinks, I sat down, and Franco appears out of nowhere, and he fucking asks me for my badge. Man, and I was like, dude, I'm talking to this girl, like, give me a fucking break. And then the badge was on the table, and my dumbass fucking picks it up and knocks over my drink. Usually I would be like, oh my God, but I didn't even flinch. I didn't give a shit. I got up and got another one and came back, and like, didn't faze me. Nothing in that moment fazed me. Franco dropping my drink, the fucking noise around me, nothing around me. The only thing I was so concerned and focused was on this girl who really, for the first time, made me feel like comfortable with myself around someone. Because I always feel like when I'm with a girl, like I have to impress her some way, somehow, and with her I wasn't even trying. I wasn't trying at all, actually. And there got a point where we were talking about weed, and she asked me if I have a joint we can smoke. And I didn't have any weed, so I was like looking around. I was like, where's Giovanna? Nowhere. Where's Jules? Fuck. I ran downstairs to the where we were initially. I found Jules and I said, "Hey man, I need weed now." And he gives me a fucking thing of weed. So I go back upstairs, I bring the weed, I'm rolling a joint with her. And then at this point I'm fucking like tipsy and she's drunk. And we've already gotten really close physically. I'm touching her leg with my legs and I see her goosebumps. And I was just staring into her eyes for so long and she was doing the same to me. And then I rolled a joint and I was like, let's go smoke this joint. So we went to the corner of the boat and we found this like one enclosed area because there was so much wind coming from the ocean, from the sea. And she pulls out this lighter and goes, "I stole this lighter last night from someone. What are the chances?" She said, not exactly that, but she said something like this. And man, the lighter had fucking New York written on it. And man, I take coincidences like this very seriously, and I'm like, what the fuck? Of course, like this type of shit only happens to me. We're smoking a joint. She's trying to explain to me the tic-tac game. I didn't fucking know what that meant. And we were playing it, and I didn't know how to play it, so she's like, forget it, it's fine. And then she runs over to the corner of the boat, the railing. And I'm standing there with her, talking. And at some point she just like gets quiet and has like this pose on the railing. And she's just staring off into the distance. And in that moment I said, I have to kiss her now. This is it. This is the moment where I kiss her. So I held both railings like this. I had her in between me. And then I grab her face with my finger, I point her face towards mine. I look in her eyes. I kiss her. And then after like I'm touching her face like this with my thumb, and I'm pushing her hair back, and I'm saying, "Wow, you're so fucking beautiful." And then I take off her glasses. And she's like, "Wow, I've never met someone who has the same exact eye color as me, like blue and gray in the middle." And whatever. I didn't take that. It meant something to me, but it wasn't like, oh my god, that's crazy. Like I've met people who said that before, but it felt nice because I feel like she felt connected to me, which doesn't happen with a lot of women I meet, because it's very superficial for them and they think, oh, look at this hot guy I'm bringing. With her, it was maybe because we were trapped on a boat for 8 hours and we couldn't go anywhere else. But yeah, she kept saying like, you're beautiful too. You have an actor's face. Fucking. And then it was such a surreal moment because after I kissed her, I said, "What are you thinking about?" And she goes, "What is there to think about? I'm just living in the moment." And it made me very emotional in that I didn't want to cry in front of her, but I was nearly gonna cry because like it's so hard for me to live in the moment. And even in that moment, I was still inside my head. But there was maybe 90% of the time she took me out of my head. So that's why it was so special. And I remember just like staring out in the sea with her and like grabbing her waist, pressing my body up against her and looking at the mountains, looking at how the water sparkles because the sun is shining on it, and looking at the water behind the boat that's like spreading out so you could see like a different color. It's like green almost. And yeah, then after that, I guess she didn't want to kiss anymore, so she walked away back to her desk or the table we were sitting. And yeah, she says, "Wow, I'm so relaxed." And meanwhile, I'm in my head thinking, what do I say next? But I didn't have to say anything. I just had to be there, you know, I just had to enjoy the moment with her. And then it was almost time to go because they were announcing all of this shit. So I had my portable charger that I brought up for her, so because her phone died. We went downstairs. We went to the second floor, the first floor again. Then Franco appeared again, and he was trying to tell her to join Cinema de Mare, which was fucking cringe. And he's like, "She will join. She will join." And I was like, "All right, bro, thanks." And then we went to a corner by a window, and we were kissing some more. And you know, she was touching me like on my waist and pushing me up against her. And then after that, I held her face again, like this. I kissed her. I called her beautiful again. I might have called her beautiful like 1,000 times that day. I don't care. I know she liked it and she enjoyed it. And then we were approaching Olbia, the deck, and I saw the boats. I'm thinking to myself, this is it. This is the end. I exchanged my number with her, and I walk away. And then I still see her there in the same spot on her phone. So then I drop my bags again, and I walk over to her again. And I said, "I have 5 more minutes. I want to spend them with you." And, you know, she was about to leave, so she drops her bags too. And then, again, we're very close to each other. And then after that, I kissed her. She kissed me. And she told me I have to learn English. And I told her I have to learn Italian. And then, yeah, Katerina called us. I had to go do the attendance. And I saw her still standing in the same spot. And then as we were walking out, she walked away. And that was the last time I saw her. And then after that, I went to the bus. I couldn't talk to anybody because I was overwhelmed by what I just experienced. I went on the bus and I started writing like, I know that every time I have these experiences, I say it's the most beautiful one, but this one was so different. And I started crying on the bus, looking at the sunset, thinking, what the fuck just happened? And then after that, I sent her a message saying like, you know, I'd like to see you again. And I sent her a message saying like, in Italian, you know, I shared a moment with you that was very special, and I would love to explore this moment. And if you don't feel the same, that's fine. I just wanted to tell you how I feel because I would have regretted not telling you. And then she called me Bae and said, "Listen, Bae, I had a very, very nice experience with you, but I don't feel the same." And, you know, it didn't strike me as surprising because I was kind of ready for the answer. But then she said, "It doesn't mean I don't want to see you again." And again, now I'm back on top of the roller coaster fucking of emotion. And then we exchanged a few texts, but she was kind of very distant now. And then I just said to myself, I'm just gonna give up and not even think about her anymore. And, you know, that's what happened. I gave up. I don't think about her like I did. But I'm just trying to take this as a beautiful moment in my life, a beautiful experience. And yeah, now we're going to Pisa, and I feel like I don't even have the courage to call her and tell her to meet me. because I feel like it would be weird and awkward, but maybe not. But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's fine.
No problem. That's all.